Well, hello and welcome back, my lovelies, to another behind-the-scenes video with Visual Pony. So, I can't use my webcam for this right now because for some reason when I put it on the USB switch, it will only work on the laptop, but not on the desktop for some strange reason. And I noticed that my laptop CPU gets really hot if I try to, render videos that have a webcam as a separate video track that I have to add later. So, sadly, from now on, I guess this will be without a webcam. Maybe once I can afford a second camera, but right now that is simply not viable. And as I did before with my phone, that's also not viable because simply I would have to add the second video track, and that wouldn't work because my laptop would basically kill itself just rendering that. However, I have already chosen our first story for the day, which is called Tock by pseudonym. I wanted to record that actually yesterday, but life happened. So that's the thing. Anyhow, without further ado, I guess let's get started with Tock. Okay, guys, this is certainly something I was not expecting in this manner, but it is certainly a nice one. Definitely something that I'll upvote. Simply because I don't know if you know this. I actually am a huge fan of Doctor and Derpy. Dr. Hoofs and Assistant. Those were the times, guys. But I don't think they have released anything in... I don't know how long. Let me actually check this. YouTube. Dr. Hoofs and Assistant. Yeah, that was Ponies with Pockets Productions. I remember something like that. Oh, there is a release that was released 1 year ago. Ooh, 3 months ago. Audio engineers needed? We're back? What frightens the fearless? I don't think I've listened to that one. Nor this short. Huh. I think I know what I shall be doing after... And what is this? Episode 11? The Isle of Laputa. There are episodes I don't know yet of Dr. Hoofs and Assistant. I didn't know that. Call upon the Doctor? Let me actually see. There should be a playlist with... yeah, there. Dr. Ho 36 videos. Let me see. The last one I saw or listened to was Wrong Way Backwards. Yeah. So episode 7. No, wait. Outpost on the Fringe. That was a... Was that? Starstruck? I don't know Starstruck. Call upon the Dr. Derp? No, I don't know that. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do later. Definitely. Sorry for that, guys, but I am just really ecstatic right now because I really love what Pony with Pockets Productions did there. But there was another one. I do not remember their name. But it was the Doctor with Twilight. Let me see. Dr. Hoofs. Dr. Hoof's Adventures. That was, yeah, done by Squeak and On. Let me have a look here. Yeah, Belts of Fate was the last one of this. And this actually is the last one I remember listening to. Another one that I wish would have continued is Dr. Hoof's The Great and Powerful. Guys, if you are a Dr. Hoofs fan, like me, I recommend the Dr. Who's the Great and Powerful series. Oh, there's Settling In. Episode 3, The L-Star. That one, I actually don't know. Okay, and the Unicorn Heist. Those are actually a few that I don't know yet. But they never really continued. I became aware of it due to this. Doctor Who's The Great and Powerful Wish Upon a Box. That thing is just amazing, guys. You have no idea. The production value in that is wow. Just wow. And yeah, sadly, a lot of these projects have fallen apart because Brony fandom isn't as big as it used to be. I really wish that like Ponies with Pockets and Dr. Who's Great and Powerful, that is just wow. Dr. Who's with Trixie as a companion. Guys, it is an unusual premise, okay? But it works. It works so freaking well. Problem is, nowadays a lot of people, myself included, are disillusioned when it comes to Doctor Who. And I really am saddened if people are introduced to Doctor Who, such a great show, watching the latest iteration with Jodie Whittaker for as their first Doctor, because hashtag not my doctor. All episodes starring Jodie Whittaker except one. There is one episode that I actually like with her. One single episode through her entire friggin' run. Now, okay, granted, I haven't watched Doctor Who Flux, which is apparently her last season, with only 6 episodes. I mean, just look at it. It's a Doctor Who season. Doctor Who, which has been on air for over 60 years at this point, with only 6 episodes. And then the 3 specials that she's contracted to do. I haven't watched the New Year's special, and I don't think I will. Because, sorry, but as an actress and as a doctor, she has just disappointed me. And that comes from a person whose favorite Star Trek is Star Trek Voyager. One of my favorite movie franchises is Alien, with Amanda Ripley. Ellen Ripley. Amanda is her daughter. You see, I like strong female characters in the lead role. Problem is, they have to be written well, and they have to be acted well. And both just wasn't the case for Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, in my opinion. Hence, I did watch her first season in its entirety, and there was one episode in that season, I think it was in that season, that I actually liked, which was the Kablam Man. I really liked it. I had really hoped that she had finally found her way as a doctor, but sadly no. I had a similar problem back in the day when Peter Capaldi took over. I at first didn't really like him, and then I got into the expanded universe, and listened to an audiobook called The Blood Cell, which features Peter Capaldi's doctor. And guys, if you haven't, then go to Audible right now and get it, because that book is amazing. And through that, I started to understand Peter Capaldi's doctor more. And then when I watched the show, I could actually enjoy his character way better than before. And even though I must still say that Christopher Eccleston and Matt Smith will always be my favorites, Peter Capaldi was also very good, except his last season. His last season was just... I am sorry, but with Bill as a companion, you could already see the writing on the wall. And the way they ended this for Peter Capaldi also was... the Doctor didn't win. The Doctor lost. The Doctor actually lost there in the end. Because if you think about it, he was basically killed on that ship by the Cybermen. So, and the thing is, he didn't stop the Cybermen. So all the people he tried to protect there will die. I'm not a fan of that episode. The entire last season of him wasn't that great. Now, and to get back to topic, now imagine the whole thing with MLP also not basically the show that spawned Dr. Who's now being finished. G4 is done. There just isn't as much interest in the people who write the stuff, who read the stuff. Just look at our views, you know. So that will eventually fade. There are just so many people who will just stop being a content creator for MLP, just move on to newer, better things. That's just how it is. And especially, as I said, in the combination of the Who fandom and the MLP fandom, there's just this problem with the show is done, MLP is done, G4, I mean. We still have G5 to come, but G4 is done, and the current Doctor Who isn't anything to write home about. So, yeah. And just, I will put this out there for everyone, just as a little disclaimer, and just to stop everyone who wants to comment, you just don't like it because Jodie Whittaker is a woman. Oh, blah, blah, blah. No, guys, no. Take your rose-tinted glasses off and look at her performance objectively. I give every kind of media a chance. I really do. And I try to watch it on its own merit. So, when I watched Peter Capaldi's first few episodes, I didn't try to have Matt Smith in the back of my head. He wasn't. I watched Peter Capaldi's first few episodes on his own merit, and I didn't like them. Now I do, after getting into the expanded universe, which I, by the way, also tried with Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. I bought a audiobook collection on Audible, which all feature her Doctor, with 13 audiobooks. And I listened to all of them. And not a single one in that collection could make me like her Doctor. Not a single one. I did eventually actually find a book a book that I like, but not because of the Doctor, but because of a side character. I think it's called A Childhood's End or something. something to that regard. And it basically brings back the classic Doctor Who companion Ace.
Can I get those hay fries to go?
Oh, why are you outputting it through there, you doof? Why are you doing that?
Can I get those hay fries to go?
Tick, tick, tick. Tick-tock.
You in there, Roselug?
This damn...
No, go away!
This damn double
The reply was muffled.
I hate it. But you see, that is the issue. Also, I did watch the what's my face? Ghostbusters 2016. I watched it. I didn't go to the movies for it, but I watched it.
No, go away.
While I was on my flight to
I
America
was muffled.
in 2016.
Her desk. Please, Roselug, I just want one flower. I'll pay. What use is money? The world is ending.
And also, I didn't like it.
What use is money? The world is ending.
The movie was just bad.
As if to punctuate, and it's stand or something. And every other day. Important.
No.
I'll share my hay fries.
Hallelujah.
Thank Roses. Pete was dating.
I stayed as calm and civil as I could. And as I said, my favorite Star Trek is Star Trek Voyager, and one of my favorite franchises is Alien. I just love it. I also love Tomb Raider. There's just a lot of media that has female main characters that I enjoy. Just those were bad. From an objective standpoint. I admit that this is my personal opinion. And if it's your opinion that the movies were good and that I'm just full of shit for not liking them, then that is your opinion and you are completely entitled to it. Then we just have to be adults, mature adults, and agree to disagree. That's the way I see it. Because quite honestly, when it was announced that Feige's Ghostbusters wouldn't be in the Ghostbusters Legacy Collection or Ultimate Collection, I kind of understood why. Because back then they went above and beyond to have to say that their movie was not part of that universe, and now suddenly they want it included in the Ultimate Collection. I wonder why. You yourself say you're not part of that universe, but now you want to be part of that universe? Huh. You know, it's weird. Tick. Tick. I don't know. But as I said, you are all entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to my opinion. Even though so often, tick, 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 did I encounter people who basically say, "No, you are wrong, and your opinion is not valid." And I'm like, okay, if my opinion isn't valid, then yours isn't either. I would have gotten the hay fries to go anyway, honestly. I simply didn't have the time to spare reading them. It was tick, tick, the store. Tick, tick. I just, I'm one of those people, I respect your opinion. If you respect mine. If you do not respect mine, if you try to be the missionary and convert me to your opinion, then the gloves are off. The store. Because then you disrespect me, and I won't see a reason to, treat you with tick, tick, or validate your opinion. I try to live by the credo, treat other people like you want to be treated. TikTok by and if people mean 4.5 minutes and if people think they have Dr. T.W. Turner at your service. First, then the store, return the favor. Quaint and quiet. The door, locked, was well-worn and the reply was muffled. Monster thing in the muzzle. What's that? And it stumbled backwards. No reply.
I'll share my hay fries.
Or the divine Daisy was all the way across town, and by the time importantly worsened, but still the neck was right next to the giant monster insect dragon pony thing. Tick, tick. Yeah, having to go through here and replacing all those ticks. Then the huge 9 and a bright pink pony didn't waste a moment rushing in the door. Across the floor would go on for roars and
I know I should be outside helping the girls, but I pinky promised I'd watch the bakery and losing a
If you really had to describe it, like your life depended on it, well, but you try.
Okie dokie dokie.
And she started to bake. I stared.
Thing is just
started. Any way I can help? Me the necklace she was.
You're getting it?
And time sped up. Tick, 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 tick. I personally just think people have to. And time sped up.
That just because you have a different opinion.
The next 8 minutes and 14 seconds were an utter blur.
No.
I only know the still I'm from me, so that's good.
You can't be friends.
Afterwards, Pink came out and traded me the muffins for thing into a time slow tick, tick. I don't know if she's that punctual for.
Wait, please!
The words came out as a single wheeze, lightly kissed me on the cheek. Time stopped. Hello, this is once again in Common Thomas Visual Pony and. See, I'm personally of the opinion. I have friends. I have friends who are on the have completely different opinions than me. In many ways. And with them, I have just come to the agreement, okay, we are of different opinion. But I value you as a person. Thunder roared and dark winds raged. A long-forgotten beast from the deepest pits of Tartarus now roamed the streets of Ponyville. Its rich life
talk about it.
Thing by now. Yeah, can I get those hay fries to go? We have just agreed to disagree. Which is, I personally think, the adult way to do it. Thunder roared and dark winds raged. A long-forgotten beast. Yeah, this wind sound should suffice. Thunder roared and dark winds raged. Thunder roared and dark winds raged. A long-forgotten beast from the deepest... It's raged. A long-forgotten beast. Deepest pits of Tartarus now roamed the streets of Ponyville, its rich laugh echoing off the brightly colored rooftops. Its form was blacker than the deepest night. Its heart was blacker still. 6 mares... Let's make the wind a little bit quieter. Six mares stood before it, unbowed and unafraid. Several more ran screaming in panic. The rest of us were for it. Roared and dark winds raged. This damn double. Several more. And unafraid. Several more ran screaming in panic. The rest of us were used to this kind of thing by now. Yeah, can I get those hay fries to go? I would have gotten the hay fries to go anyway, honestly. I would have gotten the hay fries to go anyway, honestly. I simply didn't have the time to spare. Eating them there would... Okay, Yeah, let's take Mr. Pink for this. But yeah, the thing is, I know that a lot of people will say that I would have gotten the hay fries to go anyway, honestly. I simply didn't have... I don't make a habit of being late, and this was certainly no exception. And now an ugly... be awful. Pretty close, at least. The Radiant Rose. The store, quaint and quiet. The door, locked, was well-worn and closed for apocalypse. You in there, Roselak?
No.
Still, the light was on, so I knocked. You in? But people who actually know me will tell you, well, I can be an asshole if you give me a reason to. But usually I'm the biggest, cuddliest friggin' teddy bear you'll ever care to meet. Trying not to offend anybody. And that's no joke. Still, the light was on, so I knocked. You in there, Roselak? Still, the light was on, so I knocked. You in there, Roselak? So I knocked. You in there, Roselak?
No, go away.
The reply was muffled. Please, Roselak, to punk one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple monster thing in the muzzle. And it stumbled backwards. To punctuate her statement, the ground shook mightily. Okay, let's look at our sound effects here. As if to punctuate her statement, the ground shook mightily. A few blocks away, Rainbow Dash had hit the one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple monster thing in the muzzle, and it stumbled backwards, probably crushing some street performer's cart, or some pony's cabbage stand or something.
It ends every other week. It ended twice last Tuesday. Please, this is important.
No reply.
Hallelujah. Thank you. All I need is a...
Slowly the door unlatched. The thing is just, if you know me personally, you'll know that I'm actually a really helpful, really nice person. Slowly the door unlatched.
Hallelujah. Thank you. All I need is a single yellow rose, so...
Get to know me.
Oh, I don't stock roses here. Part of a non-compete with Daisy.
I stayed as calm and civil as I could manage, under the circumstances.
Your store is called the Radiant Rose. Why in Equestria would you name your store the Radiant Rose if you don't sell roses?
Roseluck slammed the door. I would actually like some fries, but it's not in the budget. Roseluck slammed the door. Roseluck slammed the door. The Divine Daisy was all the way across town, and by the time I got there I was out of hay fries. I got my rose eventually. Don't ask me. More importantly, worsened by rubble, of course. Left me with altogether too little time. Still, the cakes were pretty reasonable after all, and Yes, this is the next song we will use, but the next part will be silent. Was it that giant a second ago? Well... Sugar Cube Corner on its own, perhaps it... In any case, I didn't waste a single moment of my 934 remaining trotting up to the counter and ringing its little brass bell. Up to the counter and ringing its little brass bell. And a bright pink pony didn't waste a moment rushing in the door. A moment. Okay, now let's see. Bright pink pony didn't waste a moment rushing in the door, across the floor and to the other side of the same counter. Pinky, the... To the other side of the same counter. Pinky, the cakes are...
Out of town, silly, but I promised I'd watch the store for them and I've been trying to be more responsible.
Were related. Okay, maybe this won't be our next song after all.
door across the floor and a bright pink pony didn't waste a moment rushing in the door across the floor and
One time was Applejack. They've had more faith in me since I started watching Pumpkin Pound. And aren't they adorable? Look at these pictures, really, don't you think?
Pinky could go on. I tried to pretend, but that just reminded me how late I really was. The roars and screams outside weren't helping, I suppose. Roars and screams. Voice was something calming, like the ticking of a clock. But that just reminded me how late I really was. The roars and screams outside weren't helping, I suppose.
And I know I should be outside helping the girls, but I Pinky promised I'd watch the bakery, and losing a friend's dress is the fastest way to losing a friend forever. And I can't be in two places at once. Well, I could, but I shouldn't, so I won't.
She really could.
And to this day, I never...
Like your life depended on it. Well, you couldn't. But you tried.
To this day, I never think...
She ran outside.
Moment.
She ran outside, a pink blur, and then there was an inside, a pink blur, and then there She ran outside, a pink blur, and then there was an indescribable
Moment.
She ran outside, a pink blur, and then there was an indescribable sound. If you really had to describe it, like your life depended on it, well, you couldn't. But you'd try. And you'd say it sounded like a cross between a cannon and a kazoo. But with more confetti. And possibly diabetes.
I don't understand
Okie dokie
the
dokie.
diabetes part.
And she started to bake. I stared. Nothing
Just for my best idea. Go out there and sing.
chuckled nervously.
Now you're getting it.
I really don't get the diabetes part, but meh. It's Pinkie Pie. I'm not trying to make sense of Pinkie Pie. That would just, be mind melting, and I kind of like my mind. Actually, I don't, but
Go out there and sing love horrific thoughts.
I chuckled nervously. The next 8 minutes and 14 seconds were an utter blur, and faster than I ever have before or since. Time slowed down. I don't know if she's that punctual for everyone. Just as a favor to me. But there she is, every day, right at 1:52. And there she is now, flying away. Wait, please! The words came out as a single wheeze. I really should run more. Or eat hay fries less. Still, she looked back. I held out the yellow rose, now a bit tattered from all my heroic dodging, and a brown paper bag I hoped I hadn't drooled or sweat on too much as I'd run. Happy birthday! The male mare turned, flew back, and lightly kissed me on the cheek.
And now we need the normalized thingy again. There we go.
Happy birthday! The male mare turned, flew back, and lightly kissed me on the cheek. Time stopped.
And there we go. Another story fully done. And I must say, it is a good one. We've had some stinkers on this channel, I must admit, but this one is actually pretty nice. Sadly, again, this author has apparently not been seen since 2018. Sadly. But what can you do, you know? Music, edit, MP3, TikTok. Doctor, where are you? I could make this early access, but I want it to be for patrons only because that's also a download link. So found it really interesting. Recently someone stopped being my patron and I looked at the exit surveys and they said it is too hard to get at my Patreon rewards. And I'm like, what? You were the $1 patron, and the $1 reward is early access to the content. And literally all you have to do is go through the posts, or once you subscribe to be a patron, you actually get a link to my G Drive where you can download everything. Audiobook, Paw Productions, and there we go. Okay, I guess that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and that you will be here for the next one. I am Visual Pony, and I hope that this video finds you well in body and mind. And see you.